With the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Tour reaching its climax, riders gathered at the Olympic Training Center in Chula Vista, California to fight for the last remaining points and a chance at the overall crown.
This year, the 2014 UCI World Cup season's been a long one. Started off in Manchester for the first round.
I think Manchester's definitely going to be, a race that I'll remember forever. It was arguably bigger for me than winning World Championships last year, to race in front of home crowd, and there was a lot of expectation and pressure going into that race. So for me to be actually able to deliver under those circumstances was great.
So following the Manchester World Cup season opener, we moved on to Holland, Papendal. It was a rained out event, so it was quite a long day, a lot of delays, and I managed to make it through to the final and played it safe, no injuries, and come away with a fourth from Papendal.
The best event for me was Berlin. I mean, the track was fun. I enjoyed really riding there. I was feeling really great, so I got third in the main, riding good, fast, and feeling good, so it was good, happy about this weekend.
I think the biggest memory from 2014 is probably racing in Argentina. Yeah, it's just crazy, it's so different to any other stop that we go to. And the kids just absolutely love BMX, and I think that it gives us all, good perspective on things away from BMX. These kids grow up with nothing, and it was great to perform in front of a crowd that are so respectful and love BMX.
I think, looking back at the entire season, pretty happy with how I've gone. I always shoot for the top, but maybe one race that I probably let slip would have been Argentina. I definitely brought my B game, not my A game there, and I'm glad that we've got one more stop in the World Cup season to clean up those mistakes and go out on a high.
Coming into the finals, Caroline Buchanan sits comfortably at the top of the women's standings with 730 points, and only Brooke Crane and Laura Smulders, who are tied for second with 580, have a chance to steal the crown away. Buchanan just needs to make it to the final to secure the win.
No matter how the season ends up, I think either way I'll be happy with myself. This is the best season I've had ever, and I've made more finals this year than I ever have. So as long as I try my best and give 110% out there, I think I'll be happy with myself.
2012 winning that series was different to 2014 when time trial doesn't count. It's more of a qualification race into the finals, and yeah, this year was all about consistency, that battle to the finish, and racing for those podium spots to crown the overall.
For the men, it comes down to a three-way battle between Britain's Liam Phillips, who sits with 650 points, versus Anthony Dean of Australia at 520 and Frenchman Joris Daudet with 480. Dean and Daudet both need to beat Phillips by a few placings to stand any chance of making it to the top of the podium.
To walk away with the title would be amazing, a dream come true, and something I've been working forward to a long time. And it's not just one race, it's throughout 5 rounds and travelling around the world. And coming from where I've come 2012, 13 to now be up for the title is a great honour, and I'm just happy to be here.
I guess the pressure is not on me now because I'm not leading. As Liam is leading, he's pretty far away. I mean, if he's not doing any mistake or anything, he will win, but you never know what happened.
I've obviously got a decent lead going into this last round, and I'm trying not to think about that really. Just want to go out there and ride my bike as best I can and get on the podium and finish the season on high.
The Chula event has always been popular with both the athletes and spectators of the tour. The first races were held on a copy of the Beijing Olympic track, but the last two have run on a replica of the 2012 London Olympic course. Neatly crafted into the hillside, the start hill looms larger than ever and provides a perfect venue for fans to watch from several trackside terraces.
It's a pretty tough track. It's technical, long, and then lots of random sections instead of straight. I guess you can pass lots of people on the track, so it's going to be good for me, and then, looking forward for it.
This track it's big, it's wide open. I saw passes last year happen on all the straights, even the last straight, last turn. Laura Smulders hit Ariel last year in the last turn and made the move to get on the podium.
Blazing down the 8-meter start hill, the wide track flows into a triple step-up that leads right into turn number 1. Exiting the turn, the men veer right into the pro section where they hit 2 massive jumps followed by a crossover jump that vaults them over the women's track and into the second berm. The women take the left side into their own challenging pro straight, crossing the men's course and into their own second turn. Then it's into the third straight, a technical jump-riddled section that challenges the riders to keep their rhythm and speed. One mistake will rob you of speed and always proves to be costly. Finally, it's into the wide-open third turn, giving the riders one last chance to pass, and then it's a final push to the finish line.
My favorite part of the track is, I think, the second straight. It feels really cool when you jump in, and it's got a lot of flow, like in and out of the S turns, and you know, it's technical, but it's big at the same time, so I think we can carry a lot of speed through.
Everyone's having a blast on the track. It's fast and intimidating, but everyone's picked it up today, and I think it's going to be some close racing. You don't want to mess up out there. You're going to get spread out.
The top-ranked 16 men and 8 women skip the qualification rounds, having earned enough points to go straight to the time trials. For everyone else, it's a battle for the spots into the main event. Top 24 men and 16 women will make it through. New Zealand's Sarah Walker had some trouble on the technical straight and crashed out, taking her out of the running. With Walker the only major upset on the women's qualifying rounds, U.S. riders Elise Post and Danny George made it through comfortably, along with Australia's Lauren Reynolds. There were a few top names on the men's side that had to qualify through due to not having enough points. Chula Vista was only the second Supercross event of the season for Australian Sam Willoughby, but he came out on top of all 3 runs. Local rider David Herman also made it through, and after a tough season, American Nick Long found his groove and came out on top of his heat.
After a bit of a Supercross break last year, you know, I was riding decent but not confident on the track. I kind of looked at my training and what was going on and made some changes. No longer working with a coach, I just do my own thing now. So the only person I could blame is myself.
After the qualification rounds, the time trials then provide the seating for the top 16 men and 8 women for the main event. Olympic gold medalist and winner of the Argentina Supercross, Mariana Pajon kept form, taking the women's final.
I'm happy and super stoked. That was a good lap, made some mistakes, but it was smooth, and I'm super happy to win this time trial.
Time trial specialist and local rider Connor Fields showed his mastery of the track, topping the leaderboard for the men.
On a big, gnarly track like this one, it's about who handles it. It's definitely a whole nother ball game compared to some of the smaller tracks you race. So it's just about mental preparation and, minimizing mistakes.
With the time trials now in the books, the athletes looked forward to some rest before hitting the track for the season's finale.
I'm trying to keep it as normal as possible because my mindset and thought process has been the same from the start of the year, really. We've got 5 stops and perform as best I can, and if that's good enough to win the overall, then so be it.
I think I'm always someone that sort of strives on pressure. I learned a lot from the London Olympic Games, where I realised that, pressure can get you to that final moment and all the expectation and everything, but it's not over till it's over.
First up comes the motos. The field gets split into heats, with each heat running 3 times. The top 4 from each heat qualify through to the quarters for the men and semis for the women. Sam Willoughby continued to show confidence, taking the win in his heat, followed closely by local Corbin Sherraw and title contender Anthony Dean of Australia.
Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable on the track, and that's a good thing. This track's the hardest track in the world, so it's nice to be comfortable.
Brazilian rider Renato Rezende continued to impress, topping heat number 4. Nick Long and Tori Nyhog made it through in heat 5 with little challenge.
I couldn't have had a better day on gates. I didn't make a single mistake. So, I just made it through each round, took it one lap at a time.
rankings leader Liam Phillips and overall title contender Joris Dode came up against each other in Heat 6, both making it through.
This is where you got to put that mental focus on track. Liam needs to make it through here if he wants to have his quest for that title.
Local rider Barry Nobles topped the final heat to qualify on to the next round.
I'm feeling good, you know, like made a few tweaks before this race and feeling more confident than I have in any other World Cup, so everything's looking up right now.
So the gate is down. It looks like Mariana Pahon got her signature great start.
In the women's first heat, Mariana Pahon and Elise Post battled it out for top spot.
Enjoying it out here. Obviously, this is where we live and train a day in, day out. So it's just always, you know, fun to be sleeping in your own bed and riding that backyard track.
Americans Felicia Stansel and Danny George both made it through in the second group. Heat 3 was stacked with title contenders, with Laura Smulders and Caroline Buchanan both making the cut. In the fourth and final heat, Brooke Crane qualified through, keeping her title dreams alive.
Just being up for the title, it's cool, but I try not to think about it, and it's just take it as another race at a time, and one lap at a time is all I'm going to do, and just have fun.
I'm not going to approach this race any different to a normal World Cup. Just come in it every time confident and ready to do battle and just try and be successful.
Then it was down to the business end of the day with the quarterfinals.
I'm gonna do everything like normal. It's just the last race, so of course I want to win like every time. I'm just gonna do my best and go up, show up on the gate, and just give my best and have fun on the track.
Quarterfinal number 1 saw contenders Joris Dode and Anthony Dean go head-to-head.
It's going to be Fields and Dode. Now Dean's right up there, so those guys up for the title.
Dode soon got tangled up with Nick Long on the second berm, ending his chances of victory.
It's going to be Fields, Dean, Long, Garcia, and there we go. We lose one of the title contenders already.
With Dean advancing, title leader Liam Phillips would have to make it through his quarterfinal to keep in the running for the overall title.
My start in the quarter wasn't actually too bad, but both Corbin and David Herman had really good starts, and I thought I'll play it safe, slot in behind them going into the first turn, and ran into a bit of traffic, and before I knew it, I was getting hit left, right and centre.
Phillips is on the back looking in, and he's out on the way back, Mike.
Yeah, I can't believe he got bumped in that third corner. Oh, and goes down.
Myself and Sylvain crashed going over the crossover, and certainly a tough day at the office. I mean, didn't perform as well as I wanted to today, and right now, right in this moment, that will, continue to hurt.
Right now, it's going to be Corbin Sherraw with the lead, David Herman in that second place spot, then Carlos Ramirez from Colombia in that third place spot. Anytime Sam Willoughby's in that gate, you know he's going to have a chance at the whole shot, and right now it looks like he has just that. Sam Willoughby, Twan Von Gent, Bodie Turner with an impressive run, Justin Posey making his way into that semi-final for today.
In the fourth quarter, Canadian Tori Nyhog went down on the first straight, quickly followed by Argentinian Federico Village.
Right now it's going to be Resende, and then it's going to be Nobles in that second place spot.
Brazilian youngster Renato Resende led the pack, closely followed by Nobles, Dutchman Jelly van Gorkum, and Mark Willers of New Zealand. Buchanan could be crowned the overall title winner if she could make it through her semi-final, but she didn't get off to the best start.
Caroline Buchanan stuck back a little bit, definitely dangerous because now she's back there in the bubble position, but it's going to be Pajón, George, and Hernandez.
I definitely set very high challenges for myself and a high bar that I like to uphold, and you know, I dare say I put a lot of stress on myself, but that's just how I've always operated, and I think it's keeping me at this high level.
But Caroline Buchanan, by the skin of her teeth, makes her way into that main event, and I believe that right there locks her up for that overall title.
I think once you get on the gate with 7 other people and they announce your name, I think everything just goes away, whatever you're used to. I mean, it's just in that moment.
But right now, they're going to be chasing Elise Post as she triples into turn number 1.
U.S. rider Elise Post dominated the second semi.
But right now, it's working out for Elise Post as she has the win. Lauren Reynolds in second.
Brooke Crane's title hopes were dashed when she crashed out on the third turn.
Here we go with Elite Men's semifinal. Top 4 make their way into the main event. And Fields, Herman, Long, and Posey, USA, 1, 2, 3.
In the first Elite Men's semi, Nick Long took the whole shot and never looked back.
I seem to have a decent spatial awareness of where riders are, so most of the time I can tell where a lot of riders are behind me and make safe moves to keep my position on the track.
Time trial winner Connor Fields narrowly failed to qualify, coming in 5th in his round. Resende went down in the first straight, putting an end to his podium hopes.
And my goal this year has been always top 3 at the end of the year, and leaving the weekend without winning the title, you know, I'm not going to be too disappointed unless I make mistakes and it's my own fault.
In the second semi, Anthony Dean had to advance to keep his dream alive of clinching the overall title.
And once again, Willoughby, an incredible start, but this time he's taking Dean with him. Those two look like the bone out. Dean was still moved into that 4th place spot. He was running, he bumped out, but he gets Swirly right there, and that crash ended his chance at any bit of a title.
Once again, the third straight claimed yet another victim, and Dean was out of the running. This left the door open for Shira, Willoughby, Garcia, and Ramirez to qualify to the main event.
You know, in some respect, I wanted Anthony to go out there, and if he won today, then he deserved to win the title, in my opinion. You know, it was there for the taking, and you know, unfortunately, he crashed as well, and you know, I just hope that he's okay.
Come that final, I knew it was just going to be leave nothing back, and it's one thing you got to know about all the riders out there is their strengths, their weaknesses, and on the day, I think being realistic with yourself and knowing how to win and playing that strategic game to get across the line.
I really enjoy racing here. It's London replica, so I wanted to do the same thing as I did in London.
I obviously knew that Mariana and Elise would have a good solid battle down the first straight, and Elise sent the triple next to me, and I just hung in there for 3rd around the first turn.
It's going to be Mariana Pajón with the lead, but Elise Post is going to hunt her down.
Elise is a strong rider. She's tough, like she makes you go stronger.
Sometimes Elise can press the pause button with her skills mid-straight, and I think, you know, I was just sort of ready for that and just swung wide around her and, yeah, pulled up into 2nd place.
Pajón takes the win. Buchanan takes the title. Post takes that last spot on the podium.
I was feeling good. I was feeling fast, and at the end it came out really good. Coming here, Chula Vista, so it's a really fun track to race and good memories. I did it in London. I did it last year, so I wanted to close it like this.
Into the finals, I was confident. I got gate 1. I was really confident in my gates, so you know, I thought I had a good chance at winning.
The gate is down, and Sam Willoughby looks to get that great gate.
I've never had a better day of gates in my entire racing career, I don't think. Yeah, I knew it would have been a tough battle keeping Sam behind me had I got the whole shot, but I got greedy on the first jump, came up short a little bit, lost speed.
Sam Willoughby has that lead. Nick Long's in that second place spot. Twan Von Gent's definitely going to try to track him down.
I just, tucked in there, and I rode a consistent lap after that. I made a little mistake down the second straight, but I held onto it, and I'm a pretty big guy, so I take up a lot of space on the track. It's kind of hard to get around me sometimes.
But it's going to be Sam Willoughby, Nick Long, and the little magician from 8th again to 3rd, Carlos Ramirez, with that 3rd place finish.
It's so challenging every lap, especially when you get to the end of the day and you're cramping and your legs don't want to do what you want them to do, and it took a little bit to get going, but that's all that matters that last lap. So yeah, all smiles out of me.
Second place today was awesome. Bank account always can use a little extra money. I'm getting old. I was second oldest in the main today, which is a weird feeling. I turn 25 next week. Not old in life, but old in sport, it seems like nowadays.
Your series winner out of Australia, Caroline Buchanan!
With her second place finish in the main event, Buchanan had clinched the overall Supercross title. Pahone's win earned her the second overall, while third went to the Dutch rider Laura Smulders.
The champagne on the podium always tastes so much sweeter when you've had a long journey, and this year really has. It doesn't just begin at Manchester, it begins months in advance in the off-season, and it's the nicest way to walk out of this with the overall as well as getting on the podium, and all smiles till next year.
Liam Phillips captured the men's crown, with Anthony Dean earning the second and Twan Van Gent the third.
I've had that red plate since the first round in Manchester, and it stayed on my bike throughout the whole competition, and I'm not sure whether that's been done before. It's been pretty cool to have that. I'm really pleased to be super consistent. I've finished on the podium 3 out of the 5 rounds, and as an overall, it's been a good year.
That's it for the 2014 UCI Supercross World Cup Tour. We've had some great races, crazy weather, and made it through yet another Olympic qualifying year. The 2015 Tour has some new events on the calendar, taking us to both Sweden and South Carolina, as well as Tour favorites in Manchester, Papendal, and Argentina. See you next year.